Hey everyone, so I am sure that most of you have heard that there will be a new Hunger Games book. Apparently, it is called Sunrise on the Reaping, and it takes place during the 50th Games, which is the second quarter clow, and Haymitch's Games. Now, while I don't personally think it's a cash grab because people love the series and she could have just kept popping out books, I do think that it is maybe a little bit of pressure because long before the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, people kept asking to have a game or a book about Haymitch's games. The thing about it is, in my personal opinion, most of that would only be to benefit moviegoers because if you read the actual book series, especially Catching Fire, they pretty much go over Haymitch's games. The only thing would be that it would be more of an in-depth look at it, like if she wrote it from his point of view, like how she did for Katniss in the original series. It would be more detailed, more about, his experience in there. But we know how he won. We know some of the things that happened. We know what the arena looked like. So none of that's going to be a surprise. Because we already heard about that. The thing about it is while I do really enjoy the movies, I thought the acting was great. I love the score. They picked beautiful music to go with this series. Both musical and like soundtrack wise, score and soundtrack. I thought it just all went really well. And, the atmosphere, cinematography, that kind of stuff is all beautifully done. Especially in the later movies. So, yeah, I do enjoy the movies. However, while I know that you cannot put everything from a book into a movie, I do agree with the statement that I once heard that it's more about what they choose to put in versus what they don't. And because they left out so much backstory in Catching Fire, the movie, and part of that was kind of the fault of the first one, especially leaving out Madge. I feel that they could have snuck her in some ways because they could have made some scenes a little shorter. Because there is so much backstory taken out of the movie, it's kind of like a copy, in my opinion, of the first movie, right? There is a backstory about, obviously Haymitch, because, it's the 50th games, his games. Candace's mother, and how the tribute that he allied with was her best friend. And she was the original owner of the Mockingjay pen, little stuff like that. While it's little, it builds up the backstory of this series, this world, a little bit more. If you read the books, you know that, right? So for book readers, the basics are going to be repeats. For moviegoers, it's going to be something new, right? At least I would think so. Because they don't know those stories, those little backstories, because it wasn't in the movies. So I think the basics of it being Haymitch's games, like I said, may benefit moviegoers a little bit more, which fine, whatever. I don't know. I want to be excited about this, but it just feels like because she was asked so many times to write about his story that she felt kind of pressured to do it. Like she said, she's going to write these books when she has something to say. And she always does have something to say with this series. However, I feel like she focused on Haymitch possibly, again, because of pressure from fans. Especially maybe movie-going fans, I don't know. I mean, some of it's book fans, yeah, but there's still the argument that we got a story already. So that's my one issue with it, is that it doesn't really benefit the readers that want to explore more of Panem, right? More characters from this series that maybe we didn't hear a lot about in the original trilogy, or even in the first prequel. I think maybe it'll be interesting to see from Haymitch's point of view if she writes in that direction. It possibly will be interesting maybe if she has multiple points of view, because in the Quarter Quell, or the second Quarter Quell, it was 4 people from each district, because it was like 48. Yeah, so it was doubled. So if you had like a point of view from maybe the 4 from District 12, that would be interesting. But I kind of want a book that moves beyond 12, because we got that setting in the trilogy and then the prequel, right? The prequel's grown on me a little bit more. I didn't hate it. I really enjoyed it, but I didn't love it as much as the trilogy. But upon reread, I definitely seen what she was trying to say and the things that I missed. It's still not a favorite, but I like it a whole lot more. I have a feeling that, I definitely will love this book, but, probably will have some issues with it, and probably then love it upon a reread like I did the first one. But there's just so many other characters that I want to know more about, right? I want to know about Mag's games, maybe Phoenix. Like, we sort of know how they all won, but we don't really know the whole details of their games. Annie's games would have been interesting. Who else? There's just a lot of them. I wish she would have done what Marissa Meyer did with the Lunar Chronicles, and did like a book of short stories. That's what I would have preferred, instead of just a whole novel on just one character. But again, I know it will be well written. I know I will enjoy it. I know there will be important messages in it, so I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.